emotionally invested in a relationship. Right?
That's a tricky one.
Because there's this argument as men that, you know, we've got no emotions and we actually, when you really meet a woman that hits that part, that taps that part that no one's really done before.
Well, you think they take those
you
parts.
think, but
until
Part of the culture, but we ain't part of the culture. Still making it rain, but I let the words fly in so calm. Them man there, some them man there. We say we don't know them. Always chatting about Lengo, roll with the stick and have to outgrow them. You see this life, only get one, don't get twice. Got a value with treating right. Find purpose, meaning fight. That's destiny calling. Ring, 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 ring. We accept.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Is it back again? We back again, Nikki. Back again. From faith to finding love. Welcome back, family. We are season 1, episode 3. What's the title today of the show, Mickey, for the people? What's the title today?
the importance of due diligence.
It says DBS check. DBS check. The important of due diligence. Mickey, would you like to introduce our special guest in the building today?
Well, this guy, I've known him for about 15 years. I'm joking, man. I've known him 15 years. This is my boy, Money Mikes. We call him Money Mikes in the London Kings group because basically he's the treasurer. This guy, when it comes to being diligent in his work, he's very that. When it comes to his commitment towards Christ, he's very that. When it comes towards commitment to his friends, he's very much that. He's a wonderful guy from the sunny isles of Ghana. You know, he's available, ladies. So you know, check out his Instagram and thing later on. But you know, I'm sure he'll give you all of that. But Mr. Mikes, tell us about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And why are you?
Okay, cool. So see you Money Mike live in a build.
Come on, blinging.
So so I do 2 things in particular. So money and maths. So I'm all about helping people to be educated, equipped, and empowered financially. So that's one side of it, financial stewardship.
Yes.
The other side of it, when we talk about maths. So I'm a maths specialist. I'm a maths teacher. So I'm out here schooling these youngers. School up.
Yes,
so,
come on.
So yeah, those are the 2 main things that I do.
We're thankful you haven't caught a case yet. Come on.
Are you still Money, tell us what you love most about the work you do on a day-to-day basis and what you like the least about the work you do on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, cool. So the thing that I like the most is definitely going to be the impact that's made. Yeah. So we're out here not just as men, but as men of God. And we're out here to make an impact in people's lives.
Come on.
So we are purpose-driven, as well as faith-driven.
I love that.
And it's making that impact that makes our work worthwhile. So for me, if I'm not making an impact, I'm going to move into somewhere else where I can make an impact. So a lot of the decisions that I make are impact-based. So yeah, man, out here we're kings.
Powerful.
So yeah, we've got to step into our purpose.
Powerful. What does it mean when you say a man is purpose driven in your life? What does that actually look like? It's a powerful word.
Cool. So when we talk about purpose, it's the reason which something was created, and everything's been created for a reason. So we were in the same way created. So we were created for a reason. So what we want to do is we want to live a life of purpose. Otherwise, we're not living a life of purpose, which means you're moving about without purpose, which is actually sad. It's very unfortunate. So if someone says to you, what is your purpose in life, and you can't even articulate that, then it's powerful, it's very thought-provoking. So you really want to live a life of purpose, because then you can live a meaningful life. You can look back and appreciate what you've done, what you've had the opportunity to do. So what we do is we come to discover our purpose, and then we walk in our purpose. And obviously when we talk about drive, purpose driven, it's something that drives us as well.
Powerful.
So yeah, purpose is big. So I say to people, you need to discover your purpose and walk in it. Some people they haven't even discovered it. They're not walking it. Some people they do discover it, but then they don't walk in it. Yeah, so then they've got to go and get the bonus and the confidence in order to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I encourage everyone that's listening right now, discover your purpose and walk in it.
Wonderful.
Stand firm in it.
Let's go straight into it. What does due diligence mean in the context of dating, and why is it important for men to exercise it?
Okay, in the context of dating. So usually,
Talk about
I'm on the finance and the business side of things, so we do our due diligence when it comes to investments and businesses there. But of course, it's something that has to be done in other areas of your life, such as dating. So when we talk about due diligence, it's all about doing your checks. Your checks. And even that, when we talk about dating, as some of you will know this, dating is all about collecting data.
Come on.
So if you're dating, the purpose is to collect data on that other person.
Yeah.
Now, when we start talking about due diligence, in the same way, it's also about collecting data so that you can make a decision.
An informed
as well.
decision.
An informed decision. So due diligence is all about collecting data. Dating is all about collecting data. So dating is all about due diligence. If you're able to connect it. So there are some people out here, they're not actually collecting data, or the data they're collecting is the wrong data. Like what time are you available?
Talk on it.
Where can we meet?
Talk on it.
Like what can we get up to?
You know, meet me behind this building. Them things. So man,
Hold on, brother.
No, I'm just adding to what he was saying. That's where he was going. I'm just adding to where he was going. Anyway, carry on, brother. Don't listen to him.
That was wild, man.
Wait, carry on, bro.
That's
Block him out.
So some people are actually collecting that the wrong type of data, but it's very important that we collect the right data, and not just that, because when we talk about dating, sometimes I don't want to say I've got a problem with the word dating, but I've got a problem with the intentions that people have around dating. Hence why sometimes I prefer then to use the word courtship, because then we know what we're talking about.
Okay.
So
break that down for us if you can.
So yeah, obviously, whenever it comes to relationships, it should always be with a certain intention, and it should be with the right intention.
Yes.
And if it's not with the right intention, somebody's gonna get hurt in the process, and people are getting hurt all the time. People can talk on their hurt. People are probably being hurt right now. People are going to be hurt in the future. But if you don't do your due diligence, you're going to open yourself up to getting hurt.
Come on.
So it's about having the right intentions and then doing the due diligence. So I always say that if you're dating, it is with the intention of getting married.
Facts.
And if you don't go through the process correctly, yes, you open yourself up to hurt. So if you want to get hurt, don't listen to what we're saying.
Facts.
You can go get hurt. But if you want to protect yourself, then there's guidance.
Come on.
There's a process.
Come on.
Follow
Wisdom
it.
to the
Trust
wise.
in it.
Wisdom to the wise. No, it's. I mean, let's dive a little bit deeper on that, Money. Right. So you touched on it a little bit in your last piece. What are some of the practical steps and strategies that men can take when they conduct due diligence when actually it's time to date a woman? And it's interesting because Mickey and I, we were at the boot camp today with a lot of the men, and I was speaking to one of the brothers that was there. He's married for 15 years. He had a divorce 2 years ago. And I asked him about the topic of due diligence, right? But I didn't quite phrase it that way. And he said, all I did was, she was a woman in the church. And for me, that was enough. She's a Christian woman. She's in the faith and she was consistently in church. He said, what I realized when we got married, we were living together, I started finding out things about her that completely shocked me. It then led into some of the challenges in the marriage. So sometimes you can argue that he did due diligence because she's a Christian woman, but he didn't go further than that. So from your experience, what are some of the practical things that men step by step can do to ensure we're doing the right due diligence?
Yeah.
Especially Christian men.
He said from my experience.
From your experience.
He said from my experience.
Money, Mike.
This one not gonna be from my experience.
We don't want no theory over here. We want some practical steps.
Theory. But here's the thing, quite funny enough, we're constantly experiencing. Constantly growing in wisdom. And obviously, that wisdom that we should be growing in is from the word itself. Yeah. So as we dive more into it, we update if anything, the process. But there are a few steps that I'm sure everyone can agree with and find wisdom in. So, firstly, I'd say for men, in terms of practical steps, I'm going to call this first one is understanding what you need. Because what you need is also going to be what you want. So understanding what you need. But the step around it is going to come from going back to the word and understanding from the word the type of woman that you need.
Okay, facts.
So the practice in it is pick up the word.
Facts.
Yeah. So you need to go to some sort of source that's going to guide you in this process. Different people will turn to different books. The only one that I know is the big book. Yeah. So I'll say definitely that understand what you need. And it's very important because as men, and I've said it before, we're men of purpose. The last thing that you want is to be involved with someone that is going to take you off that path, that's going to take you off track, that's going to be a barrier to you fulfilling your purpose and making an impact in the lives of others. So like there's levels, and you've got to just to some extent be on a similar level. So understand what you need. In terms of our practical steps, I'll say in practice, I'm gonna call this one friendship. Yeah. So I'll say focus on the person being your mate as opposed to trying to mate.
Woo!
This is jumping gems and bars here now.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, that was that one in my toes.
So
Run it back. Producer, run that one back again. Run that one back again.
Again.
It's like, because
Quickly.
some of the, you know, the people at the back, they missed it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't hear.
Turn up his mic.
focus
Yes.
on the person being your mate as opposed to trying to mate.
Okay.
It's very important that you explore friendship, and I'm saying this because if you, and a lot of people do this, you see someone that you like, you get all up in the flesh. Yeah, what is it that you might say?
Get out your flesh, my brother.
Yeah. So, and then what happens is that all your decision making can become clouded because your mind's just filled with lust. So you're not even able to then like make the right decisions. So so that your mind can be clearer.
Yeah.
Okay, friendship. Not just that, but with friendship, you're able to get to know the person better because you don't just want to, or well, should I say, they're going to present to you the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
If it's like you're all in like the last phase and so forth. But if you're friends, you're able to be a bit more open and be yourself, be more of your natural self. So when I'm with my friends, I can be more myself. I'm not needing to actually impress them in the same way. So in being myself, then the other person can get to know me better, and in them being themselves, I can get to know them better. So that way, if anything, certain flags and so forth can be seen earlier on and then can possibly be dealt with as well. So I think friendship is a big thing in terms of like openness and so forth, because you're trying to get to know the person.
Yeah, I mean, it's powerful. Let me shoot one more in there, and I know Mickey's going to come through. Just deep diving on the very practical stuff as well. All the stuff you covered was really, really good, right? The friendship piece. One of the things the brother told me today was things like getting to know who her family is.
Woo! Yeah.
Things like getting to know how her parents got together and how they got married. Getting to know what her friendship circles look like. He even went as far as to say medical history. I think that's pushing it a little bit too far, Mickey. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, sometimes it's needed.
Okay.
Some of these, anyway.
But I mean, so now we're going into very, very nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah, that's really important. So you want to get to know people on her end, yeah, family and so forth, because obviously you can find out certain things from people on her end. Like even friends, like with friends, I will say that you are a reflection of your friends. Your friends are a reflection of you.
Facts.
Like you gravitate towards people who you are like.
Facts.
So when you understand the friends, you understand that person as well. And I'll say that the only exception to that is if, for example, they actually, maybe they don't agree with certain things that their friends do, but they're trying to get them out of that. So if anything, they've taken like a so-called, I'm just going to call it a leadership role, mentorship, whatever, to get them out of that. So in actual fact, right now we can say you're sort of like cut from a different cloth, but you're trying to get them onto your cloth sort of thing, if that makes sense. So that's, but it's very important that you understand the people on her end. So environment, because we are products of our environment. So with what you're saying is, what is the home setup?
Yeah.
What have they come from? What environment? And you learn a lot from that. Of course, there are exceptions and stuff. So because some people might be in a bad environment, but then they might, for example, I'm just gonna say go to church, which is a good environment, and that then has more of a weighting than the bad environment that they might have come from. So yeah, all of those are really important. And whilst there's that side, her side, it's very important that you bring her over onto your side as well, so that your friends, your family, the church is your family too, the church can also like get to know her and stuff, because once again, you might be clouded. So other people might see things that you don't see. So when we start talking about the due diligence process, it's not just for you to do it yourself.
It's the camp.
It's the camp. It's the camp, because they want the best for you. Like a lot, and this is like obviously I know we're talking more so about men, but like even like with women, sometimes they don't want to introduce the guy to dad or brother or whatever. But here's the thing, brother and dad, they want you to get married. They want the best for you. They just don't want you to settle with the wrong guy. So why are you hiding the guy? Maybe then the guy, the red flags are there, but you just don't want to accept it. Or so I don't know. But it's very important that you also get your family to do their own sort of due diligence, friends, church. Take on what they've got to say.
Yeah, that's powerful. Okay, next question is, what are some of the potential red flags or warning signs that men should be aware of during the due diligence process?
Flags.
Red flags.
You got the red cup right there with the red cap as well. Let's talk about red flags.
Red flags. That's the thing. With red flags, there are so many. It's almost like there's no limit to them. But for men, because there's so many red flags. For women, I feel like it's like, obviously you gotta be careful that the guy is not controlling, coercive, abusive. But obviously it's all on the other end as well.
So we're looking at it from the perspective as men. What sort of red flags should we be if I'm correct on that? Right? Should we be looking for in the women that, let's say, we're starting to date? What are some? It doesn't. I know there's quite a few, but what are some of the more common ones that most men would typically see? That cool, that's a red flag.
Or even on that, tell us from your experience.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
So,
what red flags
did you see?
That you had to just U-turn from?
Yeah.
Boy.
Don't mention no names, by the way.
Don't mention no names. I mean, you can text them to me later. But,
Oh, Mickey's texting her. I watching the stream right now.
It's got text in the studio. Or in fact, what red flags would you look out for? What biggies would you look out for?
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
And that's the thing, it shouldn't be a hard one.
It shouldn't be a hard one.
It shouldn't be a hard one.
Can I throw one in there?
Yeah, go on. Kick us off.
Let me kick you off. I'm about to kick you off, bro.
Let's do it.
She doesn't have that many friends.
Okay.
What does that tell you about her? Or she continuously have beefs with so-called friends. What does that tell you about her?
Okay, you're opening up my mind. Do you know what it is? You know, when you ask me about the red flags, they're not just gonna come to my mind like that. When I'm actually in a situation, I can pick them up.
Okay. Let me throw another one to add to Mickey's one, right? So let's say she has been in a long string of multiple failed relationships, right? And she's told you about them, and also to add to that, in the conversation, she doesn't seem to take accountability for any of those failed relationships. Is that an example of a red flag?
Yeah, definitely. Like obviously accountability is a big thing. And you like obviously there's going to be problems. There's going to be challenges.
Yeah.
And accountability does need to be taken where it needs to be taken. And as a guy, you can't always take the accountability, even if like you're in the right, just to get past it. Because then obviously it's almost like she's got a green light to do whatever she wants. Because you're always going to accept accountability in order to just get through it. But I think you guys got all the red flags, you know. As in you guys know the red flags. Not that you mentioned, you know them.
What do you mean by
No,
this?
but
I think you guys have to take over and discuss the red flags now.
Oh, he's Mike, not Mickey.
Yeah,
let's not.
no,
You hear me? Like, let's not. I don't want them to get into the comment section and then start vilifying Mickey when it's Mike, Money Mike. I'm Mickey. He's Money Mike. Yeah.
What it is, yeah. When it comes to the flags, yeah, there and then, yeah, I know it. I know how to deal with it and so forth. Right now, as you're asking me, I'm on the spot. It's not coming to mind like that. So right now, it's a takeover. I'm the host. I'm the host. So see what my name is. Again, school up, live in a building.
Come on.
Right now, we got my boy Mickey over here.
Boy,
We
I'm
got
about
my
to
boy Chris over here.
I'm about to leave, G.
Yeah, what's his?
wait, this podcast is going to
I did
not see
Right
this
now, I've got a
coming.
few questions. Let me.
Hey, no.
I don't
Hey,
know.
come off my mic. Come off my mic.
I don't know if this is going to get edited out or if this is going to...
Nah, we're keeping this.
Keep this one.
We're keeping this.
I think we should go to the next question.
He's got the questions, G. He's making his up. He's making his own questions up. Go on.
So, any other red flags
Okay.
that you would like to share from your experience? You don't have to mention names. I've heard that one before.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, so I guess the one that I raised to you and I said, like, you know, you've noticed you're dating a young girl. You've noticed that, you know, she's not too friendly with her friend group, or there's always seeming to be an issue there and she seems to be in the middle of it. Or even her friends start to run away from her and them kind of things there. This obviously points out that she may not be a friendly person. She may not know how to build relationships. She may have issue connecting with people, hence why, you know, her friends are running away from her, turning away from her, yada, yada, yada. So that was where I thought you were going to come in from, kind of thing. Like, but, you know, you just kind of threw that question back
I'm
at
coming
me.
in. I'm going out.
No, I hear that. I mean, let's do one more red flag from my side and we're going to switch over back to
Oh,
the
let's
question.
go back and forth, G.
Yeah, but I want to make sure this conversation is about Money Mike and not Mickey and Christian. I mean, I think one of the ones I mentioned was past relationship history. I think past relationship history is a massive one, because especially when there's been a long string of multiple relationships. And I understand that things happen in relationships, you know, you're not found the right person, but it just might be an indication that perhaps she hasn't potentially healed from some trauma that she's been in, and taking the time away to be with herself and to go through a healing process. Rather than doing that, she might have jumped in trying to find love in all the wrong places, in all the wrong places, right? That's one of the ones that I've seen on a personal level. But anyway, we're moving on to the next question.
I kind of like it here.
Yeah, bro.
I mean,
I feel like you should interview me next. You know what I mean? It's so, what next question here, Money Mike? What are the potential benefits and outcomes of conducting due diligence? Because this is powerful. Before becoming emotionally invested in a new relationship. Right?
That's a tricky one.
Because there's this argument as men that, you know, we've got no emotions and we actually, when you really meet a woman that hits that part, that taps that part that no one's really done before.
Well, you think they take those
you
parts,
think, but
until you have done the due diligence.
Until you've done the due diligence, right? So the question here is potential benefits, but also outcomes of conducting that due diligence before you become emotionally invested.
Okay, cool. So, with the due diligence process, bro, Mickey, the way you're smiling, like you're waiting for me to drop some gem.
I'm waiting for you to drop some gems, G. You're about to change my life, like Yandla. You hear me?
So, here's the thing. When you look at it, if you do get emotionally invested, and so things become clouded, you're gonna find that in terms of getting to the end result that you want, which, as I said before, the intention is marriage. You can find that the process is long down. It's long down. What happens is that, one, because you're emotionally involved in the person, you're now creating certain bonds that it can then become even difficult to break. So what happens is that something that should have been a process of you getting to know the person to work out whether they are for you or not, that could have taken, let's say, 3 months, is now taking a year. All of that time, yeah, it's money.
Which Ryan was here.
Yeah, it's
Ryan.
money.
We need Brother
and
Ryan
it's
for this one.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
So I'm gonna call it. Look, there's a financial loss
Wow.
because that could have been spent elsewhere.
Facts.
But also there's a time loss
Facts.
as well. So there's certainly those two, but then also there's emotional hurt that can come in as well, because then if you do have to break up for one reason or another, it's harder when you're emotionally tied. But if it was done like more on a so-called like friendship level, oh yeah, we'll just go away, we can be friends. Like it doesn't have to be on necessarily bad terms. But when you're emotionally tied, then it can be on bad terms. So then what you find is that someone's getting hurt, someone's getting potentially heartbroken, and obviously we don't want anybody to go through that. So I'll say avoiding heartbreak or emotional pain, avoiding wasting money, avoiding wasted time, and then I'll say also even like little things like reputation and stuff, because if the person gets hurt,
that's not little, that's a big one.
That's a big
one.
When the person gets hurt, yeah, and then after they see you around and they're with their group of friends, they might be saying like bad things about you.
Facts.
Like that's your reputation. Like you might even find that one day maybe something even business wise, and they're then saying things about you, and people will take what they're saying as gospel, because people they don't go to get both sides. And then even like little things like just going to an event or something, and the person's there. If it didn't end nice, then it could be a bit awkward. And stuff. So here's the thing: you didn't go through the process properly. So now that's the result. But if you go through the process properly, then everyone can be cool.
I just wanted to ask something there. So it's very important for the man to set pace in terms of the two people getting to know each other, or is it a joint thing? Because what I've noticed recently with some of my friends that I've spoken to is that some women, they love the talking stage, but whereas men would like to have that to be like a 3-month talking stage, or women would like to have that in a 6-week. You know, and to quickly get into that kind of relationship or courtship situation and then take it forward. So what are your thoughts on that?
So maybe I should have said this one at the beginning. I'm not the dating expert.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm not the dating expert, so I don't have the statistics.
We need to find a producer.
I don't have the statistics and that. But what I can say, and maybe other men can agree, I don't know. But as a man, if a woman is sort of setting the pace, I feel like it's off-putting. And the reason why I'm saying that is because then I don't feel like I'm in my man role.
Talk about it.
So as a man, I want to be a leader, and I want to lead. And you're taking that away from me. Okay, I'm gonna have to go find someone that's gonna allow me to lead. It almost becomes something like that. But obviously, I can't speak for every man. But yeah, like for me, and I feel like with all people that I know, that we're definitely gonna be the ones who want to set pace. Of course, different people are gonna want different paces. But at the end of the day, if the guy has a good character, which the woman will be able to pick it up, and he has the right intentions and so forth, she should be able to go with that pace because she knows that it's going somewhere good.
But sometimes they can be blinded by looks or by money or buy something. Like, you
You-
know,
you- the woman.
the woman, like, you know, we assume that they know how to pick good character.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's things that can blind them to
Yeah.
the obvious.
And so this is where, like, obviously, when I say that's her problem, she has a problem, yeah, and that's where maybe she might not even be ready. Sometimes you find that some people, some women, some men aren't even ready to actually start dating. They're out here dating, but really and truly they shouldn't be dating. They should be working on themselves.
Talk on that.
So it's a thing where you need to become who was it? I think it was Miles Monroe who he spoke about how you need to be a wholesome person before you actually like settle down and marry. Like if you are essentially you're missing certain things and you are looking for them in another person, it's going to lead to all sorts of problems because it's almost like I think you use the analogy of like you've got two cups and you've got one person filling up another person. Now that person's empty. Then that person has to go support the other person, fills them up. Now they're empty. So then they're never full. So if you're never full, then it's almost like you're always missing something. But then when you actually become the person who you are supposed to be, when you know who you are supposed to be, and you are a wholesome person, if anything, there should be like an outflow of abundance. Like you should be full. And you should be able to go into it as a wholesome person without those sort of things that cause problems. So everybody needs to get themselves right before they start dating. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but there's like a certain level. You can't be going in there with certain baggage or a certain mindset.
Because broke people break people.
That was the saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna just wrap up with this. To what point, Mike, in your mind, might someone go a little bit too far with due diligence? Because just like you talked about here, nobody's perfect. We all have our own flaws that we're working on, and we're going through a development process as men and women. Is there a danger of maybe, because we live in a society where women might have a complete, we talk about in the mental health episode when Carolina was here, women might have a high standard for men, it might be the same. At what point is due diligence enough? And the rest of it, you're simply not going to know. You're simply not going to know until you're in that relationship.
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. Obviously, the due diligence process will take different amounts of time for different people because in terms of collecting the information, it can take different amounts of time. But it will certainly get to a point where it's like, yeah, you're taking like too long. Like you've been chatting
how many dates do you want me to? I mean, we do 50 dates now.
Do you know what? Yeah,
it's costing money.
Do you know what? And that's why it's difficult to put time on it. But I think at the end of the day, the fact that you've got as well people around you, they would also like people ask questions. Oh look, so you've been talking to this person and so forth. Like like when's it happening? Like you might voice your concerns and so forth if you have any, or you might speak into like why it's not going any further stuff. And as they speak to you, that might clear things up. So it's just making sure that because obviously like as we say in the body of Christ and so forth, like accountability is important. So with that, people are able to say, oh look, how's it going and so forth, and people will pick up if there is a problem, like maybe you're taking too long and stuff, and maybe you need that sort of like, do you know what, it's cool.
Powerful.
It's actually cool. Like right now you're overthinking this, or that itself is not really a problem, and then that could possibly help.
That's powerful. Mickey is one of the things that we do in London Kings Group. We call it the hot seat.
The hot
seat.
Accountability.
Anytime any brother in the London Kings Group is entertaining someone, we have them in the hot seat and we ask the hard questions, right? And that accountability part is massive. One of the things we don't do, we don't necessarily bring the third party in and apply due diligence to the lady. We haven't done that yet, right? But we always definitely keep accountability with London. So I mean, would you recommend that for men right, in the dating stage, actually get your brothers around.
Yeah,
and sit in the hot seat and take the questions.
100%. And obviously, it's got to be the right brothers.
Yeah.
Like there
some
are
brothers
certain
some brothers in their flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, they just gonna tell you, bro, we have to keep it PC right now, man. But they'll give you the wrong advice.
Wrong advice.
Listen to that advice, you'll never settle down. Bro,
Them Kevin Samuels advice, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Brother Mickey.
Yes,
another
powerful
powerful
episode, people.
Money Mike did take over the interview halfway through,
He
which
done
was
a
wild.
madness.
He done a madness.
That's why we love him. Money Mike.
But he came back and brought it back.
He brought it back. He brought it back in,
Right.
man.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Season 1, episode 3.
Quickly, where can they find you? Plug yourself.
Plug yourself.
You can't find me.
So you're gonna dub like you're
Okay.
gonna dub.
So, yeah, take care,
It's
people.
a wrap.
We love you.
We out.
Blessings, easy.
It's a good question.
But I only can talk from a male perspective and some of the clients I have, and I'm not a woman, so I speak as a man. But I think one of them it's the same as some men, but also it's different by its identity and the roles they play.
Okay.
Oftentimes you see women, not saying all, and I hate this term, this is just me, how I am, especially with clients, I've got to be a strong black woman. But you never hear any demographics saying that. I've got to be a strong white woman, I've got to be a strong Indian woman.
Part of the culture, but we ain't part of the culture. Still making it rain, but a little words fly in so come. Them man there, some them man there, we say we don't know them. Always chatting about Lengo, roll with the stick and have to outgrow them. You see this life, only get one.